Hinge Philip, Legating Ali, Zibiki, Conchudilingi, Toto Dana Hingi, Canada Jajovaki, Toto, Hirotachinla, Denny Hingi, Jundemai, Toto number down, Mima Samangila, Sondrix de Shuayi, Shinton Kitchen Bujeresha, the Sonzang at Tele, during the Truso to me, Genetla, the Philip Ninja Payore, Genet Tebina, Nidu Judulo, the Tendambo Javal page, Jarman Chitin Noya, Denny Hingi, Sheso. Javalia Sunju Tirenting, Tuchugi, Kosalia Kunde, Pene Javal Penoyore, then you sing it and Azoki, Nitunchi, Nishoteninge, Kinda Juni Tsichilangato, Pegi con Javini Paleria to Michigule, Tanda Tuchishano Yoretea, Kunegi, Zode, Ganit Colonchago Requisho. Then you sing it, Takasi, Sunju Tirenting, Tujurishilia, no shin promote in the Giovana and Atote, Genetala Counting, Otto and the tip of the Penoyora. You sing also. Mimanslia Sevochin Shuelia, Matsuki Conchudili, Minade, Sobankan, Nagi, Lingi, Rich Pigu Venaya, Chelsea Mina, to so to me, we to so to me in a day, Matsanadi to so to me in a day, Tana Shinge, City Councilor in the Somal Nathan Shotonguyore. In a tapema bede, Cross La Valeroa, Talodo in a Sunju dealing at the Somal Tonyote, Nis Penny de Genet Genis, Korongi. Polo Shitting to the teacher, number two. Kidan she said, Kono Desa Saja de Alberta Re, Korongi, we should on Salia, Pepper Kanji Yamare, we should channel Kalia, Rat in the Kiyamare, in a Hisin Rami, Toton, the Shide, Klapato Jarmuche, Pegatate Kalia, Nasha Jinton, Jaju, and Kenshita, Tindiki, in this Somalia, Tilinga, Corona Cheton, the Tindicine, and Atake, Sobakagi, Kudushi being Shuayi.
Let's welcome Honorable Philip Lawrence, who is from Northumberland, Peterborough South, and is actively working on Bill C-281. So, welcome to the Tibetan community. The next MP that I'm about to introduce is a personal favorite of mine and many of the Tibetan Canadians here, who has dedicated significant efforts in terms of raising awareness for Tibetan cause. He had the privilege of meeting His Holiness the Dalai Lama and consistently makes time to participate in Tibet-related events in the Parliament Hill. Let's all give it up for MP Garnett for his dedication. Double-clicking on a few of his accomplishments, under MP Garnett's leadership, the Trafficking in Human Rights Organ Act, also known as Bill S-223, was successfully passed. This and final notable accomplishment was the introduction of a motion entitled Resumption of the Sino-Tibetan Dialogue in the Canadian House of Commons. This motion, which received unanimous support, emphasized the importance of Tibetan self-determination without interference from the Beijing's Communist Party. It also calls for the renewal of the long dialogue that's overdue, recognizing the significance of open and meaningful communication in resolving the Tibetan issue.
Well, thank you for that kind and very generous introduction. It's always a great pleasure to be with you here. I'll just maybe move a little bit. How's that? It's always a great pleasure to be here with you and with my friend and colleague Philip Lawrence, who's been championing Bill C-281. We're here spending a week in Toronto trying to spread the news and seek your help and support on another legislative initiative that's aimed at advancing justice and human rights. This Bill C-281 makes a number of critical changes to Canadian law and policy that will force the government in an ongoing way to advance and defend human rights. It requires the government to table an annual report on the work they're doing to advance human rights. It creates a mechanism for parliamentary committees to recommend individuals for sanctions who are involved in human rights abuses. It would also, and I think this is a critical piece for the Tibetan community in particular and others who are victims of CCP violence, it would take off Canadian airwaves those Chinese state-controlled media channels that are currently able to broadcast here in Canada, broadcast messages of hate and violence and even depict forced confessions that they've been involved in. So it would take these Chinese state-controlled media channels off the air here in Canada. It would also include provisions to highlight the plight of political prisoners. We know of many high-profile cases of Tibetan activists, important religious figures who have been detained for a long time. I think in particular of the ongoing detention of the Panchit Lama that I and others have spoken about in Parliament. This bill, as part of the government's reporting on human rights, asks them to provide information about cases of ongoing detention of prisoners of conscience that have for whose release the government is actively working. So there's a lot of different pieces of this bill, C-281. Really, it's an omnibus bill. It's a collection of different measures that will help to advance human rights. And it's something that Phil has put forward that I'm seconding and supporting, and we're trying to get passed before the next election. This would make a big difference and an ongoing difference in terms of orienting Canadian foreign policy towards the advancement of human rights. So I'm asking for all of your support for Bill C-281. Please consider expressing support in various ways online, talking to your local MP. This bill will go for a final vote on June the 7th. I think this complements the work that we've done in this Parliament. In December, some of you were with us in Ottawa. We passed the motion that was mentioned that called for the resumption of Sino-Tibetan dialogue towards establishing genuine autonomy for Tibet. And we also passed the organ harvesting bill. And to give further life to these initiatives, the International Human Rights Act, C-281, is a next step that forces the government to be in ongoing dialogue with Parliament, responding to recommendations and providing information about what they are doing and will do going forward to advance human rights. So thank you for the opportunity to share a few words about this. Thank you for your support. It's always such a pleasure to be with you. I have been so richly blessed by my relationship with the Tibetan community as well. So thank you for your, as always, for your friendship and your hospitality. God bless.
It's an honor and privilege to be here, and as always, my friend Garnet sums up everything quite well. So my remarks will be brief. And so, Bill C-281, in a nutshell, it seeks to advocate, to inspire, and to allow for the speaking of truth to power, whether that be parliamentarians in the Canadian Parliament, to the executive and to the government, asking them why are we not sanctioning individuals, or whether it be it allowing individuals, advocates around the world the power and strength they need to do for advocating for prisoners of conscience and to raise awareness. So we will, as a Conservative Party, stand a friend to Tibet. I salute my great colleague, Garnet Jenis, and I look forward to working beside him as we move towards a dialogue where Tibetans are once again free and have a real sense of autonomy. Thank you very much.
동원대 미만대 창만 배우대 투지체다 아니 캐나다 페더럴 행적 CDC 탑学者 다시들의学교위 아니 제 다른데 토론토 내대베 기 소바카 나게 구잡게 다른 다릭 집에 저거들라 도스 게다마데 투지체체 안게다 백인 지가시스테 망체와 인계긴 수초지 백인 슈에 등에 내가 정보도 뒤통고도 남바도 가시 마켄바 요와이나 안다 공도 숨마 개체슈지 가르차고 슈와이나 단다 조조트미 가넷 제네스 균이 아니 단다 조조트미 필립 로렌스기 숨와나시 다른 게 숨에 단다 조디 팀자 빌 C281 팀자디가 차디고 그래 디 빌 C281 팀자디 가르를 걸로 슈와이나 아니 캐나다 슝원에 드라미 톱당가라 아니 뉴슈 슈체르 좀 땅고기여스 라지다 팀자기 낭된 조디디 차디고. So thank you organizers for inviting me today to speak few words in honor and in gratitude of Honorable Member of Parliament Garnet Jenis and Honorable Member of Parliament Philip Lawrence, and in honor of their support to Tibet and in honor of their work on human rights, particularly on the Bill C-281, an International Human Rights Act. Sponsored by MP Garnet Jenis. 13 years. It took many years. And more recently, we went to Ottawa, we lobbied for the appointment of special coordinator on Tibetan issues. So this bill will amplify all other human rights initiatives that are going on and that will come in the future. Personally, it's a great honor and inspiration for me to really have this opportunity to speak in the presence and in the honor of MP Garnet Jenis, because I've known him for over now 8 years, since 2016. I consider him more as an activist first, and then politician. An activist politician who has been consistently speaking for the persecuted people by authoritarian regimes like People's Republic of China. So again, thank you everyone for coming here today, because we need to acknowledge people who support our cause from all parties. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Janet.
Yeah.